How's it, guys? Just something I wanted to discuss, actually bring up, and it's basically surrounding calories burnt and how we go about burning calories, understanding how our bodies burn calories. All these things are super important. And the one thing I realized is you cannot listen to the people on social media. And who the hell am I? Well, 100% correct. You shouldn't actually listen to me either. But there are people out there that are very, very well known, and I listen to some of their stuff, and I can tell you, based on stuff that I know, that are science backed, that they are talking crap. So there are a couple of things that people need to understand when it comes to your body and how the body works. So some interesting facts I want to give you. The first fact is the average person can store around 500 grams of carbs in their muscles. And remember, carbs, glycogen is stored in your muscles. So you can store around about 500 grams. Obviously, this is all variable. My size will dictate. I can obviously store more, got more muscle mass. I'm a bigger guy. But the average person, you're looking at about 500 grams of glycogen. This converts to about 2,000 calories. Okay, 2,000 calories stored in your muscle. That means that your muscles, whichever muscle you use, is going to draw from that glycogen in that muscle. So you've got about, let's say if you're running, you can run for about an hour and a half, and your body will have glycogen to utilize. And depending on the intensity of that run, your body might use more glycogen and some fat, or less glycogen, more fat, depending on the intensity of your run. And this is where it gets really interesting. Now, the other interesting fact is that the average human being, even a lean human, could probably run for about 30 days just on their fat stores continuously. Obviously, that's not possible. The body will get tired, muscles will break down, bones, you need to sleep, etc., etc. But just based on the stores of fat in the body, that's how long the body can carry on for. So the point I'm trying to make here is the fat in your body is such an effective energy system. It's a slow burning, and there's a lot of it. It's literally like your energy depot in your body. Your body will burn fat continuously. Weirdly enough, and I hate telling people this because they look at it as a nice little scapegoat, is your body probably burns the most fat when you're lying on the couch watching TV. Why? Because you're not doing anything intensely. So your body is slowly drawing from fat stores, and it's utilizing fat because it doesn't need to use carbs. Your brain will use carbs, but your body doesn't need to use glycogen because it's lying down doing nothing. So it'll literally rely on fat stores. Now people go, "Ooh, that's amazing. I can burn fat while I'm lying down." The problem is, at the end of the day, it comes down to calories utilized. So how many calories am I burning while I'm lying on the couch? Even though I'm using more fat stores, I'm not burning a lot of calories. And this is important to understand. So when we're training, there's a ratio that comes into play. If I work at a high intensity, be it sprinting, lactic acid training, lactic interval training, if I'm doing power work, high rep weights, anything like that, my body's going to utilize way more carbs and a lot less fat. Why? Because it takes a very long time to convert fat to energy, and my muscles are storing glycogen. So when I need to draw energy and I'm using those specific muscles, I've got energy readily available, and it's a good, effective energy that my body can use immediately, and it's a high intensity energy. I'm going to use it way more effectively to do explosive movements and so forth. And I don't need oxygen to break it down. So when I do a low intensity, let's say medium intensity, what's going to happen is my carb or glycogen utilization is going to drop slowly, and my fat utilization is going to increase. You're probably going to find it's going to drop to about a 60-40. So you're still going to use about 60% carbs, glycogen, 40% fat. Now, what's also going to happen now is you're going to burn more calories. Now those calories start coming into play. So you've got 40% from those calories is going to be fat store calories. 60% is going to be from your glycogen. So now if you drop your intensity slightly more, like a medium intensity jog or low intensity jog, Now what happens is you're going to not need as much glycogen. Your body's going to use fat more effectively, because also the longer you can run at a lower intensity, your body can slowly, because converting fat to energy takes a long time. It's got to draw it from fat stores. It's like going to the bank, drawing money, and then you got to get to the shop and spend it. So it takes a little bit longer to kind of use, whereas glycogen is literally like a credit card. It's in your muscle, you swipe it, boom, there we go, it can be used. So when we do longer runs, because it's longer at a lower intensity, our body doesn't really need to use glycogen because it's a low intensity exercise, whereas glycogen is a high intensity energy source. So it's going to slowly convert to a higher fat ratio, lower glycogen or carb ratio. And then you're probably going to get to a 60-40, 50-50 roundabout. There's not going to be a massive difference. And the lower you go intensity-wise, the higher the fat utilization is going to go. But what you need to understand and remember is that the lower intensity training you're going to be doing, the less calories you're going to expend, which means whether it comes from fat or carbs, you're not going to be burning a lot of calories. So you need to understand these facts. There's a lot of crap going around on Instagram and on all these social media sites. And all you need to understand that there's a ratio that comes into play. Your body burns carbs and fats all the time. The intensity of your training will dictate which one gets burnt more of. But the main thing that comes into play at all times is your calorie expenditure. If I'm burning more fat, so I'm lying on the couch, I'm just burning fat, but you're burning 10 calories, what's the point? But I go for a run and I'm burning 40% fat, 60% carbs, but I burn 700 calories, okay? Do you understand where I'm coming from? Now my fat calorie expenditure is a lot higher and way more effective, and I'm drawing way more from my fat stores in my body. And carbs vice versa. Remember, you always have to replenish those carbs. Your body's got a finite amount of carbs. You can produce, obviously, your body can produce carbs from protein, from your muscles. It produces glycogen in the liver, and you've got obviously the glycogen that gets stored in your muscles. So there's a lot of science that goes into this, but I just wanted to explain this to people so that they understand how the body works, how energy systems work, and the most effective way to utilize your training to get the most out of your fat burning. And once you understand these things, training starts making a lot more sense, and you're going to get way better results. So I hope this helps. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll chat again soon.